Welcome to Magnetic Therapy 101. It is the positive benefits of negative ions. And we have a lot to cover. So let's get started. Magnet therapy can be described as this. It is natural, non-toxic, no pills, no needles, no salves, no side effects, and a one-time cost. Dr. George McDermott, author of Magnetic Therapy Facts. So in this presentation, you will learn the answers to the most common questions regarding magnets for wellness. The magnet history. When did it start? How has it changed? Who uses it? Where is it used? The benefits of magnet therapy. What is it used for? Where should you wear it? How long does it take? How much do you have to wear? And the way it works. What kind to use? Positive versus negative, clinical studies, and how to explain it. Magnet therapy has been documented as being at least 2,000 years old. They would grind magnetic substances and place it in the wounds of gladiators to heal them faster. Actually, a famous story is how Cleopatra wore them to retain her youth. Now, today, the term magnet therapy usually refers to the use of static magnets that are placed directly on the body, generally over regions of pain. Static magnets are either attached to the body by tape or encapsulated in specialty products like belts, wraps, pads, or our favorite jewelry. I tell people these are much prettier than tape. In the 1970s, magnets became widely used. But with anything great comes the people who wish to make huge profits off it. Now, within the last 20 years, companies began making poor quality magnets in order to take advantage of the healing reputation. And what they put out was basically a refrigerator type magnet, not what science was studying. And so a lot of people became disappointed in magnet therapy because they believed it didn't work. So unfortunately, they were victims of these poor quality companies. Studies continue, and doctors and scientists and reputable distributors like ourselves educate consumers to buyer beware. Now, research is actually being taken place in over 300 hospitals worldwide into magnetic therapy, and clinical studies are being funded by even our own government. And we'll list some of these clinical studies. We will also cover the reason we use the north pole of a magnet towards the body. The benefits of magnet therapy are the negative magnetic field of a magnet provides the optimal therapeutic value for a body treatment. And that's from Dr. William H. Philpott, MD. And you can find more information on theenergeticsinfo.blogspot.com to see some double-blind placebo-controlled studies on magnets. At the end of this presentation, we will go over the questions everyone asks and how to give them an answer that won't make their eyes glaze over. For example, one you'll hear, will this help my fill in the blank? The list is too long of things you'll hear. Most popular you'll hear is, will it help my arthritis? And the most surprising that I tell them, period cramps and hot flashes. When you attach a magnet to the front of your undies, it has been reported to have helped women for almost all issues. So there are a list of things that magnets are being studied for. 2, where should I wear it? If I wear a bracelet, will it help my knee? And don't necessarily give them an answer like I did once. I asked her what she was doing to help her knee now. She said she was taking a leave. And I said, where are you putting the leave? I was very lucky she had a good sense of humor. She stared at me for quite some time. 3, how long should I wear it? how long before I start feeling it? Now, this is a question that even the doctors and scientists are studying. They all want to be the Nobel Peace Prize winner to be able to answer that one. 4, how much do you have to wear? You'll get asked this a lot because you're wearing several pieces. I know I do. And 5, how does it work? This is the one that everyone asks. They really don't want to know. It's complicated, and we're going to go over the details, and then we're going to go over at the end the answers that you should give them just to satisfy their curiosity. Fact: if you tell them too much all at once, you will lose them. This information is for you to know. You can reread, ask questions, call your mentor, etc. They, the ones who ask, how does it work, will just get a headache if you proceed to explain to them what you're going to learn in the next couple of slides. I will give you some quick answers at the end just to satisfy their curiosity. All right, so number 1, will this help my? The answer is really that you don't know. But there's been clinical studies done all over the world, and the results came back with almost everything, but especially this list over here: fractures, painful joints, heart problems. So millions of people worldwide use magnet therapy to improve well-being, to relieve pain, to reduce stress, increase energy, alleviate depression. But be sure to let people know that these things, you're not guaranteeing it will work for them. And we are not a doctor, and we don't know their bodies. And again, another woman once asked me, do you guarantee this will work? And I said, of course not. They don't guarantee you that Tylenol will work. But if you swallow it and it doesn't work, you lost your money. So at least with this, if you feel no difference, you still have a product you can continue to use. So what do you have to lose? So don't necessarily give them my answers, though. All right, so number 2, where should I wear it? The answer is anywhere. And I explain it this way. If your bedroom is hot and you open the window, you get some circulation. But if you open the kitchen window, you will still get that circulation. It will just take a little longer. So if you place it closer, it would be better, but not necessary. Wear what you will wear. If you hate bracelets, wear a necklace, etc. Nothing will help you from a drawer, so be sure you choose something you enjoy. And after all, that's what everyone gets their attention, is the jewelry anyway. It's attractive and it's enjoyable. So, number 3, how long should I wear it? And the answer is that depends. There are testimonials from shoppers who've had sore muscles who say they felt ease after 20 minutes of wearing it. I had one woman, she had fibromyalgia. She said over the course of a month, she started noticing subtle changes, and then she started feeling better than she had in 10 years. So when speaking to people, use other people's stories. Mine was my neck. I had spinal cord damage. And when I put on a bracelet, I had a kink in my neck, like when you sleep on your neck the wrong way, but I had lived like that for 14 years. And eventually, over a course of 3 or 4 hours, the kink in my neck started to loosen up. And I was amazed. I had to put the bracelet on and off for 2 weeks before I was convinced that it was definitely the bracelet. So tell people to report back to you and collect their testimonials, so that way there you can help others with the same issues and let them know that's why you would like their testimonial, so that you can share their story with someone else and may be able to help someone else with the same issues. So number 4, how much do I need to wear? The answer is 1. But wait, there's matching earrings. I get asked this a lot because I will wear the ring, the necklace, the earrings, and I'll make a set and I'll wear it. And for you, the best way for you to run a business and to help others is to wear it yourself and have on the collection, because people see what you're wearing and they want to have it also. Okay, question number 5, the tricky part. How do they work? The answer when someone says to me, how do they work? I say, great. The truth is, if doctors and scientists with years of knowledge and funding are studying magnets to find out this answer, it's not going to be easy for you to give an answer, right? But we're going to give it a go. After all, that's what this is all about today. So these are the 3 main components of the health benefits that we work with. We'll break down the basics of each one of these and hopefully raise your confidence as well as your awareness on how well the body naturally works with magnets, copper, and water. And I quote, "I have been working with magnets in my practice for 5 years now and have to say I am delighted with the results. Magnets almost always work." And this doctor is a gynecologist in Germany, and she wrote the book that you'll find in the management system, Healthy at Last. So now, what kind of magnet? The kind of magnet you use is very important. We use a neodymium magnet, and trust me, it took me 4 months to learn how to say it too. Neodymium is a rare earth element found on the scientific chart as Nd. Combined with iron and boron, it is the strongest type of permanent magnet commercially available. It is a permanent static magnet, which means it will never lose its charge, unlike other magnets. The strength is also very important. Magnets are measured just like gallons for milk or miles for distance, only it's Gauss. It can also be measured as Tesla, which just like the metric system came along after the standard, Tesla came along after Gauss. So for example, 1200 Gauss equals 0.12 Tesla. All right. The doctor recommended dosage, if you want to put it in dosage terms. A 600 Gauss magnet is the minimum to help the body. And that's not 6 100 Gauss magnets. You cannot add the Gauss up. One magnet at 600 is strong enough to penetrate a cell. Now ours start at 1200 Gauss and go up to 2200 Gauss. And that's the best. For an example, I talk to people about dosage when it comes to drugs because they understand that better. If doctors and scientists came up with a particular dosage for Tylenol, you could take that dosage and grind it up and remove one little pinch of it and sell it as Tylenol because it is technically Tylenol. But it is not what doctors and scientists came up with for helping the human body. It's not going to work if you just use a pinch. Well, magnets work in the same way. Doctors and scientists have studied them and discovered what is beneficial. And trust me, your souvenir refrigerator magnet is not a strong enough magnet to help your body. This is where we are valuable at educating consumers. Tell them to ask the questions when they buy a magnet for wellness. What kind of magnet is it? How strong is each magnet? If it's neodymium and over 600 Gauss, chances are it's going to help their body. But then ask them, what has the magnet been put into? Is it something that's hypoallergenic? Ours is hypoallergenic. It's surgical stainless steel. Is it as beautiful as ours? Ours have real gold, Swarovskis. So ask them. Great, I'm glad it'll work. Now do you really want to wear it? Because ours are undeniably beautiful. Okay, now try not to fall asleep, but this is how they work. So how does it work? Through blood circulation, the whole body is supplied with vital nutrients. A single blood cell takes only a minute to pass from the heart to the wrist and back to the heart again. From the heart, blood is transported to the lungs where it absorbs oxygen. It then passes through the aorta into the circulation system and flows through the arteries and into smaller and smaller vessels until it reaches the capillaries, effectively the end of the line. Only once it is there are the nutrients and oxygen delivered, transferring through the connecting tissues to every cell of the individual organs of the body. Now, various factors and causes are known to reduce the speed at which the blood flows. A significant reason is the formation of red blood corpuscles into so-called Rolo, coin stacks, or I was always taught it's called a money roll, which means that the red blood corpuscles clump together and form stacks, rather like coins. You'll see that in the before picture. In a normal, healthy cell, the ions are distributed around the cell with all of the positive ions on one side and the negative ions on the opposing side. In a diseased or an injured cell, the positive and negative ions do not stay on opposing sides. They are disrupted and scatter randomly around the cell. When the red blood corpuscles are stuck together, They can no longer change shape and are then too big to be able to flow through the smallest blood vessels. The capacity of oxygen to be absorbed is reduced. Tissues are not supplied with sufficient oxygen, and the cells suffer from a lack of oxygen. The absence of vital oxygen not only have negative effects on the cellular energy metabolism, the deficit in oxygen supply also puts a strain on the acid-alkaline balance, which leads to numerous well-known problems. It's not hard to see that the consequences of a reduction in the transport of oxygen can be very far-reaching. So now we bring in the magnets. Magnet therapy regulates the natural charge potential of cells and thus helps to reduce the tendency of red blood corpuscles to stick together. It improves the blood flow and along with it, the transport of oxygen and nutrients to the cells. When static magnets are placed over an area of inflammation, the magnetic field penetrates through the skin and deep into the tissues and bloodstream. That's why the doctors and scientists said you have to have a minimum of 600. Damaged cells will react to the presence of a magnetic field by realigning their ions into the correct position. This begins the process of eliminating the excess fluid from within the cell. Cell damage will stop and healing of the cells will begin over a period of days. When inflammation in the body is alleviated, the damage caused by the inflammatory process begins to be repaired by a fresh and rich supply of oxygen and nutrients. Cells that have been disrupted and deoxygenized begin to heal and tissue regeneration starts. Improving blood circulation helps to provide a general feeling of well-being, the ability to perform well, and the natural self-healing powers of the body. The magnetic force itself does not heal. It is more the self-healing powers of the body that are gently encouraged. We help our bodies to help itself. So now we use the negative or north pole side of the magnets. And this is a list of the reasons why. And you may have experienced the power of negative ions yourself when you've gone to a beach or a forest, went by waterfalls. So while part of that euphoria, yes, is simply being around those wonderful settings and away from the normal pressures of home and work, but the air circulating in the mountains and the beach is said to contain tens of thousands of negative ions, much more than the average home or office building, and frankly, how often do we get to sit near waterfalls? So, we also see it immediately after thunderstorms when people report enlightened mood, according to ion researcher Michael Terman, who has a PhD at Columbia University in New York. In fact, Columbia University studies of people with winter and chronic depression show that negative ions relieve depression as much as antidepressants. The best part is that there are relatively no side effects. So according to the Asian Journal of Medical Sciences, the largest organ in our body is our skin, and we are able to absorb 15% of negative ions when we breathe. And if we use our skin to absorb negative ions, hence wearing a bracelet or necklace, the efficiency rises to 85%. So be around negative ions as much as possible, in, on, and around for your maximum benefits. I like to joke with people about their salt lamps. Seems like everyone got one last year for Christmas, and I tell them our bracelets produce negative ions also. Do you have a salt lamp? And if they say yes, I tell them this is like carrying your salt lamp around with you everywhere you go, only better. Now, when people ask, why should I wear a magnet? This explains it very simply. The world we live in puts out negative and positive ions. Unfortunately, most of us are exposed to more positive ions than negative ions. Wearing a magnet simply counteracts the bad ions with good ions and helps us to feel physically and emotionally better. I tell everybody I'm going to get a t-shirt that says, I'm negative. So, copper. Why do some people wear copper? As opposed to many other substances, copper can be absorbed through the skin. The copper trace element increases the production of antibodies in our defense system, and it also has an anti-inflammatory effect, which means that it can be very useful therapy for rheumatic conditions. It also has a ton of other benefits to wearing it. The progressive loss of memory and confusion are the most noticeable symptoms of Alzheimer's disease, and researchers at the University of Hamburg and the FU Berlin have demonstrated on Alzheimer's mice that copper slows the buildup of the deposits typical in the illness in the brain, and scientists suspect that copper can also improve the level of health in human beings. So even if it's only possible to slow down the progress of the disease or to treat it preventatively, a lot of progress is being made. There's actually a quote from Dr. Sarah Brewer. She stated in an article in 2002 after much research that bracelets combining copper with magnets are worth trying for pain relief. A good thermal conductor. When you're wearing a copper bracelet, it rubs against your skin and the copper passes into the bloodstream and binds to iron. The copper prevents the iron from being dispelled from the body. Same way it works for the calcium for the osteoporosis. Now, discoloration of the skin is normal, and when in contact with the copper, it indicates the body is too acidic. So it's good to wear it. If you get that little mark on your skin, it's perfectly okay. It washes off with soap and water. And it's very important to drink lots of water when you're wearing copper or magnets, because with all of the work your body is doing, you want to flush everything out. So, magnetized water. We have the water stick. We have the coaster that I use every day on my desk. I set my bottle of water right there. But once a water molecule has been exposed to a magnetic field, the molecule changes. The molecule increases in size and improves the body's absorption of water as well as nutritional substances. Now, also when the size of the water molecule is increased, its ability to absorb toxins is much greater. Now, magnetized water was first used in Russia by 3 specialists in urology. Effective in breaking up kidney and gallbladder stones, the water also prevented further formation of stones in the kidney and gallbladder. Soviet physicians have been giving magnetized water to patients for over 30 years for digestive, urinary, and nervous problems and ailments like mastitis, pains and swelling, painful urination, and many others. A pH test was done on tap water in Essex and changed it from 5.6 pH straight from the tap to 7.2 pH after 15 minutes of having the magnet stick in the glass. Now, you can magnetize many other substances besides just water. I get teased for putting it in my lattes and my sangrias, but you can magnetize water, juice, and you can actually magnetize fruits and vegetables by same means. Now, the effects of magnetized water on people and animals improves digestion, increases the excretion of toxins, regenerates tissues, reduces cholesterol levels. For plants, it actually improves the plant's general health, stimulates growth, and prevents sickness. They've been using magnetized water in the farming industry for cows to have better milk production naturally, and for plants to be able to be sprayed in the fields. The crops actually grow thicker and better and have less sickness. No one has ever become poor by giving. And that's a quote from Anne Frank. And I put this in here because learning about how magnets help to heal the body is a noble business to be in. But let's not forget, it is a business. So how do we explain magnet therapy to our customers? Many of you have said, I'm not good at selling things. And that's good because no one wants to be sold to. But if you give them information about a product that may help them, that is a good thing, and that is what we should be doing. Remember earlier I said we'll go over easy ways to satisfy their curiosity when they ask questions? Well, here it is, and the answer is to keep it simple and smile. And I know that's not how I learned it either, but I'm being nice here. So we had 5 questions that I said come up a lot. The first one is, will this help my, you'll hear everything. Your answer, it should. Most people report good, if not wonderful, results. You would just need to try it yourself. Besides, it's beautiful. What have you got to lose? 2, where should I wear it? If I wear a bracelet, will it help my knee? Yes, wear it anywhere. Wear what you like. It won't work from a nightstand, so make sure you buy something that you'll wear. 3, how long should I wear it? How long before I start feeling it? I tell them that depends on your body. Buy a piece, you will wear it every day because the more you wear it, the better it will work. 4, how much do you have to wear? Just one piece will work, but once you fall in love with it, you'll want the matching pieces. And I always look to see what they've got in their hand, and then I'll tell them, did you see there's matching earrings as well as a bracelet? Look at this necklace. Because let's face it, the reason why they either came over to your booth or they invited you to show them a private showing and wanted to see the pieces is because it's beautiful jewelry. That's it. It's beautiful jewelry. And you're in this business to help them realize this is a brand new concept in health. Beauty. So remind them it's beautiful. And 5, the tricky one, how does it work? You understand now all of the stuff we just learned, why it's very important to keep it simple because it's very tricky and there's actually more that we could go into as far as hormones in the cells and I mean there's a lot to it besides just the basic what we just studied. All right, but this is the answer I give them. And if you come up with a good answer where their eyes don't glaze over and they stare at you funny and they walk away, please share with me because I'd like to have other things to say besides just this one. But this is what I tell them. How does it work? Our cells get weak from stress, age, colds, even our environment, and then they lose their charge, which causes them to stick to each other. As the cells go past a magnet, they unstick and go back to work. So we get more oxygen and nutrients and reduced inflammation, so that's why we feel better. Now, I always have a little visual that goes along with this. I hold up my hands and show them 10 individual fingers. And as I turn around and tell them that the cells lose their charge, I make a fist with my right hand. And that kind of signifies, see these cells that are all stuck together in a little ball? Obviously, they don't look as good as my left hand with all my fingers up standing like little soldiers and they're all working. Then when I turn around and I say, as our cells go past a magnet, I wave my closed fist over whatever piece of jewelry I have on, whether it be a necklace or a bracelet. When you wave your hand, the fist, over that piece of jewelry, I spread my fingers back open again and say they unstick and go back to work. So the visual they get is 10 healthy, thriving cells and then 5 stuck to each other and not doing very well. Once they go by the jewelry, they become thriving, healthy cells again. It's that simple. Now remember, too much information hurts their head. You can totally confuse them out of a sale. Let the jewelry do the talking for you. If you must say something, say very little. Now for all of you detail-oriented people, you can find clinical studies on www.energeticsinfo.blogspot.com. There I have posted clinical studies, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies on diabetic neuropathy and our insoles. There are different studies for arthritis, for inflammation, sports injuries, and I even have some tidbits on there with sharks and how they're swimming with magnets and sharks. Also pick up the book Healthy at Last. It's in your management system. This is a book by a gynecologist in Germany, and she turns around and explains magnets and her doctor's opinion as to why they work for different ailments. With all the different testimonials that she has from her different patients, she will explain why they felt better after whatever it was that they had, whether it be arthritis or menstrual cramps. All right, and it makes a very good visual if you have a private showing with a group of people or if you are at a fair or an event somewhere. So congratulations, you've completed Magnet Therapy 101. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, you can contact me, and remember to keep your social media connected to me and your emails up to date so you don't miss anything. If you find something in the spam filter, make sure you put it under your safe senders list. And if you'd like to see other presentations, please let me know. We'll see what we can do. And we have a lot more coming up. So stay connected and have a great day.